With the new addition to the practice range, it really opened up a lot of doors when it comes to warming up. So I wanted to start a series on how to do that efficiently with each weapon, and in today's warm-up we will be using the FCAR. Through the buffs and the nerfs, the FCAR is one of the few I've used since the beta, because of its emphasis on accuracy and minimal recoil. Not to mention it's got some insane damage if you can learn to land your shots. So there's a difference between warming up and aim training. When aim training, you are actively focusing on one aspect, and that is aim, whether it be click timing, tracking, or target switching. However, when warming up, you are not only trying to get to the point to where you can land your shots somewhat consistently, but also incorporate all the other variables that the game has to offer. And the finals has a lot of variables happening at the same time at any given moment. So ironically, strictly focusing on aim is not going to do you any favors. Now the challenge mode won't necessarily provide an exact imitation of a live engagement, because again, there are several events happening actively at the same time. However, it will help you simulate the pressure that comes along with it. Are you calm, cool, and collected, or stiff, tense, and anxious? How a player reacts under pressure usually dictates if they win that engagement or not. So to start things off, we're going to jump into the practice range, go to the first moving target, spend 2 full hard focus minutes ensuring that the target is centered while keeping within 10 meters, spending some time up close within 5 meters while in hip fire, and spending some time in the area between 5 to 10 meters going in and out of ADS. This not only helps you maintain a target, but also helps the player acquire and pull their target out of the environment, thus speeding up your target acquisition process. So when you're done with that, make your way over to the challenge mode terminals and select the shooting gallery first. Now you don't necessarily need to put it on hard mode, just pick the mode that you are most comfortable in, not the mode that you see all the streamers do. The shooting gallery provides pressure in the form of time, whether it be waiting for a vault to finish priming or for a cash out to complete. Time is always a huge factor to consider in the finals. So before you begin, find a podcast or some music to listen to while doing this exercise. What this will do is minimize the amount of mental focus that is applied to the current task, which is aiming, thus allowing the player to evenly distribute their attention to other debatably more important variables in live engagements, such as positioning, movement, and spatial awareness. The goal is to ensure that your learned aim is second nature, and you don't need to put as much mental effort into being accurate. I generally do this in aim trainers when I want to transfer a learned skill into the game I'm playing. As someone that is diagnosed with ADHD and has a lot of trouble managing where my focus is applied, this is a practice that I stand by and has worked for me time and time again. I want you to casually do this challenge until you're confident that you can land most of your shots with minimal mental focus, while maintaining a calm composure with loose, fluid motions. While doing this exercise, I also want you to use the target acquisition process that I mentioned before, which is to first acquire the target, center and hip fire, then proceed to ADS and fire. Please use counter-strafing whenever possible to activate recoil smoothing, and also be conservative with your bullets, only using them when it's necessary. You'll know when you are successful with this when you start to consistently eliminate 2 targets in one clip, excluding heavy of course. This is to help you maximize each bullet in the FCAR's rather small mag. When in the middle of firing at your current target, always have your next target in mind, and transfer to that next target using the target acquisition process in a smooth, efficient straight line. Do this exercise until you reach a point of decent accuracy while in a calm, cool, collected state. Remember, tensing and being anxious, whether it be in the practice range or in the arena, will always lead to slower reaction times and more times than not, poor decision making. So please stay cool, you will gain nothing by being anxious and freaking out. Next we're going to move on to the mode, Big Box Battle. As a solo player, this may be a little bit difficult to survive. But what it'll do is provide pressure not only in the form of time, but also in the form of players that like to push aggressively or a third-party surprise. I want you to eliminate all the targets in this challenge mode using the cover provided and your toolkit. Every time your health gets below half, retreat, get behind cover, or you could do what I like to do and practice utilizing the goo grenades as a form of spontaneous cover as well as escape. Do this until you get all the tension and rigidness out of your aim and movement, which pretty much wraps up this warm-up. If you want a routine that strictly focuses on aim, then you can check out my FCAR masterclass right here. I'll also be updating this masterclass as well to fit the current format. So after doing this entire warm-up, I prefer to do 1 to 2 TDM matches to increase the amount of pressure and variables applied, before jumping into competitive modes such as World Tour or Ranked. So if you found this video informative, please smash that like button. It's a small button for you, but it means the world to me. And also subscribe for all things to finals, as well as the most comprehensive weapon guides in the game. The rest of the video will just be my warm-up in its entirety, as well as TDM gameplay. Peace and love, guys, and I'll see you in the arena.